Hello, friends. Welcome to a new series on pain and pain behaviors. It's not a topic we want to talk about easily, but it's what we all share as humans: physical and emotional pain. And more importantly, the circle of pain, the behaviors and actions and reactions that are caused when we feel pain. The chain reaction that prompts and magnetizes other events and people in its fold. So, we are addressing a very interesting issue in this series. What are the actions and behaviors that are caused by persistent pain? Behaviors that smokescreen the real issue. And what's the real issue? It's a reward that pain can bring. Believe it or not, people gain from suffering. And what would they be gaining from suffering? Attention, of course. And so, we all want to prolong it. From time to time, we all use pain for our benefit. When we avoid doing things we don't want to do, for instance, or justify our bad behavior, our anger, or greed, or guilt. And a very common one, when we hide our feelings of inadequacy. But the truth is that the denial of responsibility is why the pain persists. Instead of accepting that, we continue to rationalize, justify, and invent behaviors that make us appear right. And we call these pain behaviors. So watch for yourself and ask yourself, are you a pain addict? And if so, could you make the choice to recover? The choice involves looking at life with total honesty and translating what you can't do because of the pain into how you can make progress towards what you can create instead. So the purpose of this series is to focus your attention not on the pain, but on the well behaviors. Because they are there. They are just hidden by your habits and unawareness. When you discover these well behaviors, they can turn your life around. So listen in.
Join spiritual psychologist and India's #1 biofeedback practitioner, Ritu Malhotra, as she guides you through the paths of self-discovery and personal transformation so that you can live in alignment with your values and purpose. You are listening to the Cellular Alchemist Podcast, and here's your host, Ritu Malhotra.
Restrictions caused by fear of pain. We all know what pain is. Most times we handle it fairly well. We all also know what fear is, and we learn to deal with that too. But it's the fear of pain that immobilizes, paralyzes, and completely debilitates us. I want to start by giving you an example. If you break your leg, it hurts, of course, but you pop a few pills or you go to the hospital, you get a plaster, etc. Pain, we handle it. Now, after you break your leg, there's the fear of the doctor or the probable surgery, but the body and mind learns to accept. Because there's not much you can do except to fix it. Fear also you learn how to handle. But if I were to tell you that you will break your leg at 3 p.m. tomorrow, you're destroyed. You can't sleep. You're anxious. You're a mess. That is the fear of impending pain. In this episode, I want to share with you the many behaviors that result from the irrational fear of emotional pain. My dog died. Just a few days back, he was playing and jumping. Then he became less active. Then he refused to eat. And then he was gone. As we buried him, my first thought was, I don't want another pet ever again. I didn't want to ever fear the pain of this loss again. This is how our minds work. After a hurtful experience, we subconsciously avoid anything that may cause us pain. It's a defense mechanism against the things that can harm us. And we begin to say to ourselves, I'll never go into a permanent relationship again. Or, I can't trust anyone. I won't enroll for that course. What if I fail? What if I put a lot of time and energy into this venture and it goes down the drain? All these restrictions that we impose on ourselves are also fear of pain. Pain of loss, pain of embarrassment, pain of being left alone. All these were my experiences too. Self-preservation at its height. Until I realized that it had become my biggest obstacle as well. So how do we let go of this fear of pain and open ourselves to what life has to offer? For me, I finally realized that a full life is made of a wide range of experiences. And some of these will also be unpleasant. People and pets, they become ill and die. Job situations change, circumstances change, and relationships end. I needed to accept that sometimes things won't go as planned. And merely avoiding something will not protect me from pain. Why? Because living in fear is already living in pain. That was an amazing realization for me. These learnings that fear brought to me also egged me towards accepting my responsibility for those unpleasant circumstances. I thought that would be a way to regain control of my life. I started to check the behavior that might have contributed to these fears. I could cherish the memory of my old pet by giving a new one all the love and care that creatures deserve. I could do that. In short, by accepting ownership, we choose to move on. We start to see life from a different lens, using the instinct of self-preservation as a powerful tool rather than a hindrance. So become aware of your negative thoughts as soon as they pop up. Step aside, watch yourself. This really helps to get objective perspective. Leave the hurt behind. Remember, any fear, any hurt is like a storm that passes, like everything else.
That was this week's episode for the Cellular Alchemist Podcast with spiritual psychologist Ritu Malhotra. Don't forget to follow the podcast on your listening app so that when the new episode drops, you do not miss out on the chance to change your life by changing your beliefs.